A man who drove his car into a crowd of people after a white supremacist rally in Charlottesville will spend the rest of his life in prison. A judge sentenced James Alex Fields Jr. to 29 life terms for federal hate crime charges. That's the most severe punishment possible. It was an emotional day in court as the prosecution went frame by frame through the deadly attack from August 2017. They argued Fields intended to kill and his actions were fueled by hatred and race. Fields killed one woman, Heather Heyer, and injured 28 others. Victims and family members testified that the pain and trauma have stayed with them every day since. This attack is now classified as a hate crime. And the defense did argue Fields should not receive life in prison because of his mental illness and age, but ultimately the judge sided with the U.S. Attorney's Office and showed no leniency. Fields still has to be sentenced on state charges. A Charlottesville jury recommended he spend an additional 400 years plus life in prison. That sentencing is scheduled for next month. New details on the disappearance of a 23-year-old student in Salt Lake City. Investigators announced the arrest of a man charged with the murder of Mackenzie Lewick. The arrest comes after investigators conducted an extensive search of the suspect's home. Neighbors told police he burned something on his property around the same time Lewick disappeared. Police believe he burned her body along with her belongings. The 31-year-old suspect is charged with aggravated murder, kidnapping, and desecration of a body. And we have a recall alert this morning. If you use an insulin pump, you're going to want to listen to this. Thousands of insulin pumps are being recalled as the FDA warns of a hacking risk. Someone nearby could connect wirelessly and then potentially hack into the devices, change the settings, and either deliver too much or too little insulin. The FDA says it's not aware of anyone actually doing this, but it says the risk to patients is, quote, significant. And I'm Caitlin Francis. We begin with an update. The Grayson County Sheriff's Office announced they found the body of the missing tuber, Joanne Hatcher. They say Hatcher's body was located approximately a mile downstream from where she was last seen. Hatcher went missing Wednesday when she was floating down the New River. Search crews found her tube. Officials also thanked the first responders who worked around the clock. And there are some new developments in the case of the Rockbridge Regional Jail. The former superintendent and head nurse of the jail have been facing federal civil rights charges since 2018. John Higgins, who served as a superintendent for a number of years, faces additional charges from the U.S. Attorney. Those are for accepting prescription drugs for his own personal use from the jail's supplier and accepting, quote, things of value from the family of an inmate for preferential treatment. Head nurse Gary Hassler is accused of falsifying documents. Those charges were announced from the U.S. Attorney's Office. President Trump met with the president of China at the G20 summit. Both leaders hope to find a way out of this trade war. Paula Reed is traveling with the president in Japan. California has passed a bill banning employers from discriminating against people with natural hair. It's called the Crown Act. It would be the first statewide ban on natural hair discrimination. The bill says workplace policies can be unfair to African Americans, and in its next step, the bill will go to the governor's desk. All right, we're going to take a turn now to your hometown forecast with meteorologist Christian Johansson. Christian, we talked about it a little earlier. This is probably the nicest temperature-wise we're going to feel all day.
This morning, yeah, it's the lowest and it's still pretty.
Yes. All right, Christian, always a good idea to have the weather app handy just in case, especially during these summer months where we don't know where things are going to pop up. But as you mentioned, it's a great day to get to the pool or to the lake or whatever, and a lot of people have a nice long weekend because of the 4th of July holiday.
Yeah, definitely. And again, the big thing is, the only reason we bring that up is because if there's lightning associated with the storms and you're out on water, that's a big no-no.
Yes.
So make sure you have a way to alert yourself.
All right, great. Thanks, Christian. This weekend might be your last chance to take a look at Roanoke City's Firehouse number 7. That's the station house in the Grandin neighborhood firefighters have been using since the 1920s. The city and leaders with the fire and rescue services say the new building will better allow them to serve their community. Service will stop July 8th, and not long after, they'll start demolition. So you can head out to that open house today, check everything out. A little piece of Roanoke City history.
I was just going to say a piece of history right there. Don't miss it.
Well, thanks for starting your weekend here with us. Grab some coffee. We're heading out to your hometown patio when we come back, and we are talking trending, how one major leaguer is responding to haters. All right, speaking of baseball, Major League Baseball taking an old rivalry to a new location. The Yankees and Red Sox are getting ready for a series across the pond. Soccer, football, whichever. Britain's #1 sport, of course. But with 50,000 spectators expected at this weekend's games, the America's pastimes looking for some new fans. Prince Harry's even going to be throwing out the first pitch tonight. Looking forward to that
all
one.
good stuff there.
We're going to take a look at trending now. Today is National Camera Day. You can, of course, use a regular camera or your smartphone. Take a family photo or a selfie, or check out some famous photos using a search on the internet. You can post your photos to the social media hashtag National Camera Day. Lady Gaga performed at New York's Stonewall Inn, where the gay rights movement was born. The singer, songwriter, and actress performed at the celebration marking 50 years since the first night of rioting outside the inn. That was June 28th in 1969. The rally was part of World Pride New York City, which culminates on June 30th, tomorrow, with the annual New York City Pride March. In the 9th inning of Thursday's Dodgers-Rockies game, Dodgers pinch hitter Enrique Kike Hernandez blew kisses at some of his hecklers. A group of fans who were sitting behind home plate tried to make life a little bit more difficult for opposing hitters. That's pretty typical of ball games, guys. They failed, though. Hernandez came to bat at the top of the 9th inning. 3 behind home plate could be heard making fun of him. He broke the game wide open with a 3-run home run you just saw there. After he rounded the bases, you see him blowing some kisses. He just let those fans know he heard them.
Hey, a great way to get back.
Well, I mean, it's
Blow some kisses. Kill them with kindness. That's what that's called.
It's part of the game.
Yeah,
Gotta get over it. Get this, a puppy stranded in the desert for 2 weeks after a car crash separated her from her owner. 19-year-old Michael Crocker veered off the road near Flagstaff, Arizona, when he dozed off behind the wheel. The crash resulted in his thumb needing to be amputated, and on top of that, his little puppy Bella, look at her, so cute. She got lost. The family searched for her for days and enlisted rescue groups to help. After 13 days all alone, she was found with her leash tangled in brush. She had no food or water. Little Bella has not left Michael's side since the reunion. Look at how cute she is. Glad she's all right.
A little good news there.
It's going to be a nice morning to maybe get out, play with the dog, take him for a walk, because it's going to be really...
In the morning, though. It's going to get real hot later.
Like in the next hour, probably.
Go right now.
Because it's
DVR the rest.
That's why we're...
Hey, welcome back. We're outside on your hometown patio, and we have pet stories this morning. Dana Owen is here with us from the Roanoke Valley SPCA. And Dana, you brought the sweetest girl.
This is Daphne.
Yes, she's so sweet.
She is adorable.
Oh, I think
she's a real love bug.
Look at how much she's basically on top of Dana. She is such a cuddler. What do you see? She sees something.
She sees everything. She's just a sweet girl. She likes to cuddle. She's 4 years old. Beautiful.
I know. I hope that there's a line. You know, we had Puppy Love Ball last weekend, and there were lots of adoptable pets available. But sometimes the older animals don't get looked at as much. So she's still got a lot left. She's only 4.
She's only 4, and she knows her basic commands. I mean, she knows sit, and she's not really treat motivated.
No.
She likes treats, but she'll do her sit without the treat, just when she's told. So that's a good thing.
Just because she's a good listener.
So.
All right, if you're interested in adopting Daphne, because why wouldn't you be, right? You can give Dana a call at the Roanoke Valley SPCA. It's 540-339-WAGS. Again, that's 339-9247. They're open every single day from noon until 6. And we've said it already this morning. Guaranteed line out the door for this cutie patootie.